So let me ask you something. Have you ever run in the morning and seen the sun rise from a very amazing angle, and then you get to the mountains and all you're seeing is just the mountains with the sun behind you? Because remember, the mountains are in the west and the sun is coming in from the east. All of this is happening while you're running, and as you're heading back to the finishing point, you're interacting with the sun, and that's scenic, my friend.
In June 2022, a small group of adventurers stood on the snow-capped peaks of the Rwenzori Mountains. They carried a flag, but more importantly, they carried an idea.
The marathon began as an inspiration from Kili. I've seen how Kili grew Moshi and Arusha. Moshi and Arusha in 1999 were very small places, were insignificant, but I realized how much efforts that have gone in, that have brought them out.
An idea that sport could introduce the world to Kasese.
He had the country in mind, yeah? It was not just about running, it was about tourism of the country, particularly sports tourism.
An idea that thousands would eventually make their own. When the first runners arrived in Kasese, nobody knew exactly what would happen. The weather was unpredictable, the terrain was unforgiving, the route was challenging. But what happened next surprised everyone.
I had not experienced crowds like that on the trail, so people lined up. It's as if people took a day off on that day and they lined up to see these people who are running. I found that very intriguing.
It was amazing to see the local people. They come to life. It's like Christmas for them, man. So it was beautiful to see the environment and how the whole region lights up in that time. Yeah.
What started as a sporting event quickly became something bigger. People came to run. They stayed for the experience, for the scenery, for the adventure, for the friendships, for the stories, and for that feeling that they were part of something special. Because the task alight about Rwenzori Marathon was never just about crossing a finish line.
But this was more than an event. It was giving back to community through sport, through tourism. And because we are a Ugandan brand, we wanted Ugandans to experience that adventure, experience their country, right?
So the last time I'd gone to Kasese, I'd been documenting a story of teenage girls who had been exchanging sex for pads. So my memory of Kasese was not that good because of the most recent history of the clashes that happened between the people in Kasese and the UPDF.
For many decades, many people knew Kasese through headlines. Floods, disasters, challenges, but the marathon began telling a different story. A story of beauty, a story of hospitality, a story of opportunity, a story of a region ready to welcome the world. And the world responded.
We came in a day before the marathon and we assumed we could easily find accommodation, and this wasn't possible. So we had to go back to Fort Portal to find accommodation. And still in Fort Portal, there were so many people coming for the marathon who were lodged in Fort Portal.
Hotels filled up, small businesses found new customers. And every year, more people arrived to see Kasese for themselves.
We started with only 9 billion that was left in the first marathon in the economy. It went now 4 years down the line, 2025. But if you add the adjacent towns, you know, Fort Portal, Ishaka, Bushenyi, and all those places, the earnings go reach about 34 billion shillings. But our dream is to make sure that within the next 10 years, that at least 50 billion, between 50 to 50 million dollars actually is earned by the community in a year. And that changes the whole economy of the places. This is something that I used to call upon every Ugandan who has things to sell during that time to be able to make sure that money is actually left in the economy.
Ugandans have always loved a challenge. We love discovering new places. We love turning moments into memories. And somehow, the marathon became the perfect expression of all of that. Hundreds became thousands, local became international, and what began as a marathon was becoming a movement.
Well, I guess I was saying so many cool things about the marathon, about what was happening, the amount of people that were coming to the marathon, how it was changing tourism for the better, the numbers that were increasing that were climbing Mount Rwenzori. I was like, that can't be true.
Today, participants travel from dozens of countries to be part of the experience. Elite athletes, weekend runners, adventure seekers, content creators. For one weekend every year, Kasese becomes a meeting point for the world. And yet, despite its growth, the marathon never lost what made it special.
I'll explain what it feels like the whole of Kampala to be in Kasese. Because I know the Kasese before and I know the Kasese of the marathon. So therefore, fitness was not really at the back of my mind. Yes, that's to be honest.
5 years later, the mountain still stands. The roads are familiar, but the story has changed. What began with a flag raised high above the clouds has become one of Uganda's greatest sporting and tourism success stories. A platform for athletes, an opportunity for businesses, a source of pride for Kasese, and an experience that thousands now call their own. The Taskalite Mount Rwenzori Marathon is proof that the biggest journeys do not always begin with crowds. Sometimes they begin with a single idea, a mountain, a community, and people willing to believe in what is possible. 5 years on, the story is still being written. Runners are coming, Kasese is ready, and beneath the mountains of the moon, another chapter is about to begin.